Good morning. Getting everything set up. We're going to start here in about 10-ish minutes. Don't mind me while I make sure everything that I'm doing is in frame. All right, it looks like we're good. Well, good morning for anybody that has logged in. It's a beautiful day out here. It's not as windy as the other day. You may hear some background noise from the neighborhood, but it should be slight and shouldn't really get in the way of our practice.
You're not on, right?
What's up?
I don't know who's gonna help you.
Yeah. What you thinking?
Okay. You're on, right?
Yeah, but it's okay. I got about 10 minutes.
Oh, you got 10 minutes till it starts.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Somebody does.
Oh, you're live on it?
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just talking to my brother. And I got the dog doors closed, so we don't have any visitors while we're out here. All right. Okay, I think we are all set. We got about 9 minutes until we get going. Oh. And I know everybody, if you're like me, has been going a little stir crazy, waiting to get back to that normal. It's coming. This too shall pass. So one of the things that I've been talking about a lot, of course, is we keep hearing this social distancing thing. I think that mentally does something to us. So I've been using that we're physically distanced, but we're socially connected. Because, of course, we have this technology. We have the availability of tuning in to one another. So we're not completely socially distanced. We're just physically distanced to be, kind of on the safe side. So. And if you haven't noticed yet, I talked about morning routines on our last one. Just getting yourself into that daily routine will really, oh my goodness, make such a difference, especially for what's going on right now. It's kind of impossible to change our situation. There's certain places that are closed, our gyms and all the places we used to go to eat and all those good things. So right now, of course, we can either stew in what we're dealing with and what we don't want, or we can think about the things that make us happy and do those. So the daily routine as well as the morning routine is super important, of course, because you set yourself up for success in the morning with your morning routine, meditation, yoga, moving your body, whatever that is, feeding yourself the right types of things, eating some good fruits and all that good stuff in the morning. And then, of course, through the day, your daily routine is just as important and sometimes a little more important because you hit those points through the day. We all do. I've got work to do that's emails or computer-wise or whatever else. But the TV is so available and it's so right there. And I'd rather just watch a movie. And of course, with us all being trapped inside of the house, it's easier to just kind of float over to those more entertaining things. But I think that when we actually figure out what we like to do, and even as something as simple as just stretching, even if you're not doing a whole yoga practice, just stretching your body, and you notice the difference and how that puts into you. It's a pretty big thing to just notice what makes you happy, what can I do in this situation right now to not focus on the problem, just focus on things for myself, things that are either going to keep my mind busy or keep my body busy, because of course we have to do both. You can keep your mind busy all you want, but if you're not moving your body, you're going to feel tight, you're going to feel sore, you may even feel a little anxious, and that's because the body stores everything that's happening to you. So how the body keeps a score is one of my favorite books, and it covers that. So if you don't allow that to leave your body, I talk about it all the time, like a cheetah after hunting. You'll see a cheetah just shake like crazy. It's because they're shaking that fear, that excess energy free. And same with chihuahuas or any other animals that shake like that. So they're handling that excess energy. For us, you can handle your mind all you want, but if you're not moving your body, if you're not letting go of that excess energy, then it's just going to store somewhere. Most of the time it stores up in the shoulder areas. You know, you feel your shoulders all tense all the time, or they store inside of your hips. And then you have issues opening up your knees, pain coming down the leg. Don't mind me, I'm just sending the link that we are in right now to somebody so they can get in. But I feel like it's super, super, super important to make sure that you're taking care of yourself right now, because this is going to pass. And when it does, we want to be able to kind of just step back in to a life that we somewhat recognize. You know, things may be different, of course. There's going to be some challenges when we come back from this, but just imagine how much easier it's going to be if you've been taking care of yourself mind and body wise when you come back from this. It's going to be so much easier to just bring yourself back to a place of curiosity. You know, let go of all that judgment, because you don't want to sit and judge yourself for not doing anything throughout this whole quarantine, right? So taking care of yourself, huge. And I congratulate you for tuning in today, for those of you that are with us right now, because you decided to make you important. You know, one of the things that stops us all is we focus on what we don't want to deal with. You know, it's that story that you continue to run in your head. What you don't want to deal with, and if you focus on that, then you continue to get more of that. So instead of tuning into the other side of things and allowing yourself to just feed into you and not focus so much on the challenge at hand, but just focus on you, what makes you happy, what makes you tick. You know, I think it's pretty amazing when I sat and I thought about it for a while, how little we actually concentrate on us and what we need and what we want. We're always, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent or an uncle, maybe you run a company or whatever it is, there's always these outside needs, everybody needing things, your children needing things, your friends, your family. And it's so easy to get caught up or lost in the strong person role. You know, I need to be there for these people. I need to be there for those people. But when we tune in and we figure out what we need for ourselves, which we typically spend the smallest amount of time on, it's amazing the changes that you start to feel happen. And it's amazing the difference that you'll feel in yourself when you just finally give yourself that moment, that permission, so to speak, to make you important, to put you at the top of the priority list. And I think that's why I've been hitting that in these messages for these yoga classes, is there's so many times that we really put ourselves to the side to either get something done for us or to get something done for other people. So why not take time for you? I know a lot of people think it's selfish, but it is impossible to be selfless unless you are selfish. You cannot fill somebody else's cup from an empty cup. So, and I know a lot of people like to say, have your cup full so you can pour from it. I like to go past that, and so does Joyce, co-founder of Trauma Recovery Yoga. Have your cup overflowing so much that you're pouring from your saucer. So the more you put into you, the better you'll be to put into other people, and the more you'll be able to take care of yourself. So one of the big things about this form of yoga, and this is a trauma-informed resiliency-based yoga, is that this is all about tuning in, checking in with you. We have body scans throughout, and a lot of this is based on self-regulation techniques. So you've noticed through the day, somebody cuts you off, something happens, the kids do something, and your emotions, your thoughts spike, and then up goes your anxiety. Well, there's ways off of the mat that you can use these self-regulation techniques for yourself. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started here in just about a minute. And I want to welcome all of you to Warrior Flow. My name is Leland Holgate, and I am the president and founder of Warriors for Life America. We are a nonprofit focused on our military veterans, first responders, and their families. And we also do a lot of work with the community, which is why you all are such a big part of this. Without feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself, what's the point in anything, right? So that's the biggest part of healing, is feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself. And with this work, you'll notice there are a few differences for those that are seasoned practitioners or advanced yogis. I don't walk around the room. Of course, we're over live video right now anyways, but I don't walk around the room. I stay on my mat up at the front so I can model. So as we're practicing, I'm practicing with you. If I call something out, you don't know what it is, just take a look at your screen and you'll see me in whatever pose that might be. So as we move forward, remember, yes, this is yoga, but it's less about the yoga and it's more about your progress. So not about perfection, it's all about progress. And more than anything, it's all about the self-regulation techniques that you're going to learn as we move forward. So pay attention for those. I'll call those out throughout the entirety of our practice, and those do work off of the mat. So if you're at the office, you're in the car, wherever you are, if you just need to bring yourself back down to the moment, you can use these techniques for yourself. And as we move forward, you may feel, as we move along, some emotions bubbling up. And I know a lot of the times we try to fight or suppress those, but allow those to come. That's something scratching at the surface that needs to be released. You know, the body does keep score. So allow that to surface, allow that to come up, and just focus on that story that you're telling yourself. And try to concentrate more on being curious. Where is that coming from? Instead of judging yourself. So just allow yourself to be where you are and express your choice. Choice is the biggest part of our practice. If you sit on your mat and breathe the entire time we practice, you are practicing yoga. That is 95% of yoga. It's just breath work. So if I'm going too fast, you can slow it down for yourself. And if I'm going too slow, you can speed it up for yourself as well. All right, so this is all based off of shoulder openers and hip openers. Of course, in the shoulders, this is our present area where we hold all of that tension, anger and resentment, all of our social muscles. You notice when you get angry, your shoulders lift. So we hold all of that there. The body stores it. And we're going to open those areas up and allow them to just kind of freely open and flow. So the hips as well, this is where we hold all of our depression and regret. A lot of our past is held in the hips. This is also some of the biggest muscle groups in our body. So we're really going to stretch these two areas out, and throughout, just allow yourself to be here in the moment. Allow yourself to find those self-regulation techniques that are going to work for you. And as we move forward, just allow yourself to be. All right, we're going to get started. So we're going to start in cross-leg comfortable seated position. You can also have your legs straight or your knees bent, whatever is comfortable for you. Find your sitting bones, those little rocker bones on the base of your hips. Make sure that they're just connected. Let your knees lay out. Your hands can sit on your knees. Let your chin fall to your chest. We're just checking in for the moment. I want you to pick 4 different colors that you notice, or maybe 4 different patterns. Notice the color of your skin in contrast to your mat. Maybe your mat in contrast to the floor. Anything to bring yourself further into this moment. Notice your sitting bones connected to your mat, supported by Mother Earth. Both are always there for you. As we're looking down, we're also sending the signal to our brain, all is well. I am safe. I am right where I should be. Practicing a little mindfulness, just a fancy word for noticing. Tune in, just notice where you may be holding, where the breath may be tense. Use curiosity, no judgment. Just notice the parts of the body that are tense or tight, where the air may be holding or blocked. Now starting with some centering, pull your belly button in and up. Really engage your lower intrinsic muscles by restricting the flow of urine. Pull your belly button in, start to feel that area immediately heat up. That is your internal core temperature heating up, your internal furnace firing up. This helps us pull all that mind chatter down away from the brain where it can be burned up and used for fuel for you. Continue pulling your belly button in and up. Keep those lower muscles engaged. Feel that power build. Notice that that power is coming from you. This is the center of your being. Just another few breaths. Continue to pull your belly button in and up. Slowly start to release. We're going to go with a 3-part breath, filling from the bottom all the way to the top. As you take an inhale, big belly, into your chest, into the back of the eyes. Exhale through your chest, press your belly button into your spine. Inhale, big belly, into the chest, into the back of the eyes. Exhale through your chest, press your belly button into your spine. Inhale, big belly, into your chest, washing around behind the eyes. Exhale through your chest, press your belly button into your spine. Now come back to your normal breath. Scan the body, starting with your forehead relaxed, jaw released, shoulders away from your ears, sitting bones connected to your mat, and hands just gently lying on your knee. On your next inhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder, head rolls back. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder, chin to your chest. Inhale, right ear, left, right shoulder, head rolls back. Continue to roll around. Link your breath with your motion. Find that rhythm with your breath, your motion. This is your mat, your yoga, your rules. You go as fast or as slow as you want. And let your head fall to your chest, your chin to your chest. Give yourself a moment of pause. Let any dizziness subside. That's completely normal. Now on your next inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Head rolls back. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Chin to your chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Head rolls back. And continue to move around. Link your breath with your emotion. Allow yourself to go as fast or as slow as you want. That popping and cracking that you're hearing is just nitrogen leaving the joints. It's us cleaning out that old stagnant energy, making way for the now. Roll around one more time. Let your chin fall to your chest. Give yourself another moment of pause here. And notice once again from your forehead, jaw release, shoulders away from your ear, hands just gently lying on your knees. Slowly start to lift your gaze. You can blink your eyes open. Now you can pull your heels in or just move your legs over to the side. Roll yourself forward onto all fours. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Now we're going to take our right leg toward the back of your mat. Cross it up and over to the left, just outside or to the edge of your mat, and keep your hips nice and square here. Shoulders over your hip wrists. I can't word today. As you inhale, chest moves forward slightly. As you exhale, look over your left shoulder toward your right foot. Feel the stretch through the right side body. That's what we're looking for, opening up that lateral line. With each inhale, let your chest move forward. Exhale, look a little further. Your right hip can come out to the right just a bit to feel that stretching crease. Allowing everything to go. And now look down toward your hands. Bring your right knee up and over, back to your mat. Now your left leg moves toward the back of the mat. Don't want you walking in circles. Cross your left leg up and over, just outside of your mat. Hips square, Shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, chest moves forward. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. As you inhale, chest over your shoulders. Exhale, look a little further. Your left hip can come out to the left just a bit to increase the stretch. Once again, just opening up that lateral side of the body, letting go. One more breath. Look down to your hands. Your left knee comes back to your mat. Tuck your toes. Press back to your first downward dog. Hands about shoulder width apart, feet about hip width apart. You can also bend at your knees here to take your hamstrings out of the equation so you can concentrate on keeping a nice, straight, flat back. You can also press your finger and thumb in toward the mat. This helps take pressure off of your wrists. Gives you a little more grip to press your chest back to your thighs and feel that decompression of the spine. And while we're here, we practice the two most powerful words in the universe. I am. Whatever you say or follow, you become. Rock those for yourself right now. I am happy. I am amazing. I am healthy. As you inhale, heels up, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center, look down to your fingertips, sending the signal to our brain, all is well, I am safe, I am right where I should be. And release. And now we're going to move through our sun salutations. So these are meant to burn up that excess energy that we all carry around with us. And again, remember, express your choice. If you sit or lay there and breathe, you are still practicing. Go as fast or as slow as you want and do as much or as little as you want. You inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am confident. I am strong. I am growing. Rediscover your breath. Press your chest to your thighs. You inhale, heels up, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale to heart center. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms overhead. Breathe out, swan dive forward. Take a breath in, halfway lift. And release, hands to the mat, step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am amazing. I am happy. I am healing. As you inhale, heels up, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Exhale, release. And this time as you inhale, sit back and down, feet and knees together. You can look past your knees to see if you can see your toes. Tailbone tucks, belly button in towards your spine, arms up overhead. You can look up here. And this helps clear the fog off of the brain, bringing a little clarity to the situation, to the moment. Maybe you sit down just a little lower to challenge yourself. Maybe you stay where you are. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am loyal. I am generous. I am happy. On your next inhale, take your right leg up toward the sky. Now bend at your knee. Let your heel fall over toward the left. You can look under your left shoulder to bring a little stability to the pose. You also get a view of a dirty foot. You can lift your right knee up. This helps stretch and open the hip a little further. Press your chest in toward your thigh. Now as you inhale, straighten up your right leg. As you exhale, look forward. Right foot comes in between your hands. Drop your back heel down. Inhale up. to a warrior one. Back leg straight and strong. Bring your hips square, left hip forward, right hip back to the front of your mat. Arms up. And now sink in toward your front thigh. Keep your hips nice and square. You can sink a little further here if you'd like. Maybe you bring your hands together. Maybe you look up past your thumbs. And now as you exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. Drop your back knee down. And as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, let your hips dip forward. Inhale, reach up. And look in between your hands. And I'm going to give you a balloon. Notice the size, the color of your balloon. Now I want you to take out a marker and I want you to write down everything that you want to let go of in your life. All the things that no longer serve you. All those feelings that you no longer want. Maybe you don't have a word for it. Maybe it's a feeling, so you can give it a number or a color and write it all over that balloon. As you inhale, feel it lifting. As you exhale, separate your arms and watch as it sails away. Smaller and smaller, taken by the universe to be recycled into something new. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, plant your hands. Inhale, right leg back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am strong. I am letting go. I am happy. As you inhale, heels up, look forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead. Hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Exhale, release. Inhale, sit back and down once again. Everybody's favorite pose, chair pose. Look for your toes. Arms come up overhead. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. And give yourself just a moment to bring a little clarity to the situation by looking up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am prosperous. I am powerful. I am amazing. As you inhale, left leg goes up to the sky. Bend at your knee, let your heel fall to the right. You can look under your right shoulder to bring a little stability to the pose. And you notice that you have a pair of matching dirty feet. You can lift your left knee up. Express more of that hip opener. As you inhale, straighten up your left leg. Exhale, see forward, plant your foot. Drop your back heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. Back leg straight and strong. Bring your hips square to the front of the mat. And sink into your front thigh. For those that would like, you can bring your hands together, shoulders away from your ears, look up past your thumbs. Maybe you sink a little lower. Exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. Drop your back knee down. And as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, dip your hips lower. Inhale, reach. And I'm going to give you another balloon. I want you to notice the color and size of it once again in between your hands. And this time I want you to take that marker out. I want you to write down everything you want in your life. All the things you want to experience. All the people and places you want to see or go. Everything that you want, write it all over that balloon. As you inhale, feel it lifting. As you exhale, separate your arms and watch as it sails away. Smaller and smaller, taken by the universe to be granted as a wish for you and those you love. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, plant your hands. As you inhale, left leg moves back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am amazing. I am healthy. I am a little sweaty. As you inhale, heels up, gaze forward. Walk your hands up to meet your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead. Hands come to touch. Inhale to heart center. Look down to your fingertips for just a moment. Send the signal to your brain again, all is well. I am safe. I am right where I should be. And release. And again, back to everybody's favorite chair pose. Inhale, sit back and down. Look for your toes. Arms come up overhead. Hands come to touch. Bring your hands in toward heart center. As you inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Your left elbow comes outside of your right thigh. Or you can bring your left arm across your thigh. Your right hand to your lower back. So you can twist. Left knee comes back in line with your right. Sit your hips a little lower than your heart. And as you exhale, press your right hand onto your left and twist, purging the toxins out of the organs. Exhale, fold. Heel till your feet about hip distance apart. Bend at your knees, let your chest come to your thighs. Let your head fall. And wrap your peace fingers around your big toes, including your thumb. Your elbows just move out east and west. You can just hang out here passively, or for those that would like to stretch, you can straighten out your legs and pull with your arms moving east and west. Whatever you're doing, we're giving the heart a break, letting the heart be above the head. This gives the blood flow a lot easier of time to move up to the brain. Also lets those happy hormones build at the tip of your spinal column. In just a moment, you'll find out why we call this the Xanax of yoga. Stay in your fold, release your hands up to your hips, pull your belly button in toward your spine, and slowly, like it's a game to come up last, head comes up last, take yourself up. Oh, that is a magical feeling. That's why we call it Xanax of yoga. So step your feet back together, sit yourself back and down, arms up overhead, hands come to touch. Bring your hands in toward heart center. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist over to the left. Right elbow outside of the left thigh. Bring your right knee back in line with your left. Sit your hips down below your heart. And as you exhale, press your left hand onto your right. You can look over your left shoulder. Cleansing the toxins, taking care of the spine. And exhale, fold. Heel till your feet about hip distance apart. And this time we're going to take our palms and place them all the way underneath our feet. Big toes tickling your wrist crease. Bend at your knees, chest to your thighs. And again, you can make this passive and just be right where you are. For those that would like to make this a little more active, you can work at pulling with your arms, then straighten your legs. Again, giving the heart a break that it needs. While the heart is above the head, this also helps tone that vagus nerve system that we all have that enacts the relaxed side of our body. Just another few breaths. Release your hands, stay in your fold. Hands come up to your hips. Pull your belly button in toward your spine. And slowly, like it's a game to come up last, take yourself up. Oh, I love that. I could do that all day. So let's move on with our practice. Step your feet together. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am happy. As you inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, swing your right foot forward. Drop your back heel down. Inhale, up to warrior one. And now open up to your warrior two. You can take a step back with your back leg if you need a little more space. Notice back leg straight and strong, heels in alignment. You can sink in towards your front thigh. Maybe you bring your front knee out towards your pinky toe. And maybe you bring your shoulder blades together to create that straight line from fingertip to fingertip. Looking over the right middle finger. Just another few moments as we allow the hips to open and stretch. And now straighten out your front leg. Reach for the front of the room. When you can reach no further, hinge yourself forward. Hand comes to your thigh, your shin, your ankle, or to the floor. Keep your front leg straight and strong. And inhale, reach with your left arm. This helps take care of the spine. Your right hip comes back into its socket. You'll feel that stretch on the inner thigh, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Some of the biggest muscle groups in our body are right here at the hip area. And now bend into your front thigh. Bring your right elbow up to your knee. And you can stay just like this. You can bring your right fingertips down to the mat. And for those that like half binds, top arm comes behind your back. If you like a full bind, you can reach underneath and grab for your left wrist. Just open up at your chest as you sink in toward your front thigh. And now release, right hand to the mat, left arm comes back up, or right arm onto your thigh. And as you inhale, come back to your warrior two. Turn your front palm up. As you exhale, come back to reverse warrior. Just avoid your back knee. Sink into your front thigh. Open your right shoulder to the right and reach. You'll feel that stretch in the side body once again. Taking care of that lateral line, opening, letting go. As you inhale, back to warrior two. Windmill your hands down to the mat. Right leg moves back. Lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am happy. I am friendly. I am joyful. As you inhale, heels up, gaze forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead. Hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms overhead. Breathe out, swan dive forward. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Release, hands to the mat, step back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rock your I ams once again. I am fun. I am happy. I am healthy. Rediscover your breath. As you inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, swing your left foot forward. Drop your back heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. And now open up to your warrior two. Again, you can scoot the back leg back if you need a little room. Sink in toward your front thigh. And sometimes the tailbone likes to come out, so you can try to tuck that under, and you'll feel that stretch increase, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Maybe you bring your shoulder blades together. Create that straight line. Look over your left fingers. And now straighten out your front thigh. Reach for the front of the room. And now hinge yourself forward. Avoid your knee. Hand onto your thigh, shin, or ankle. And if you can make it to the floor as well. As you inhale, reach with your right arm. Take care of your spine. Keep your front leg straight. I know you're feeling that stretch on the inside of the thigh. That's exactly what we're looking for. And now bend into your front thigh. Left elbow comes to your left knee. Now you can also let your left fingertips come down to the mat. And for those that would like a half bind, go for it. Maybe you want the full bind. Allow yourself to be wherever you are. Now reach up. Left elbow to your left thigh. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. Front palm spins up. As you exhale, come back to reverse warrior. Open your left shoulder to the left. Sink and reach. And now inhale, back to warrior two. Windmill your hands down to your mat. Left leg moves back, lower down, half push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rock your I ams once again. I am healing. I am happy. I am letting go. Inhale, heels up, look forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center, look down to your fingertips. I know you're sweating. Find your breath. Allow your heart rate to normalize just slightly. Sending a signal to our brain, all is well. I am safe. I am right where I should be. And release. I wasn't lying, huh? That stuff gets you heated up. I love it. We're going to take a step to the back of the mat now, bringing some balancing in, which is important. Balance both body and mind. So standing at the back of your mat, arms up overhead, look forward. Take a step with your left foot. Let your right heel come up just a bit. And you can leave your hands overhead, or you can bring your hands in toward heart center for a little more stability. So wherever you are, let yourself be there. Find your balance. And now hinge your upper body forward. You can lift your right leg up into the air to form that T shape. You can also leave your right toes down if you're having any trouble. And that's fine. You're still going to feel those little stabilizer muscles working. You can also bring your hands in toward heart center to bring a little more stability to the pose. Standing legs straight and strong. Let your hips move square. I know the right hip likes to lift. And slowly lower your right foot down, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Breathe out, release. And step back to the back of your mat once again. Arms up overhead. Look forward. Take a step forward with your right foot. Back heel comes up. Find your balance. And now hinge your upper body forward. Left leg lifts into the air, and you can bring your hands in toward heart center for that stability. Keep your hips nice and square. Work to forming that letter T. And remember, if your legs or your left leg is on the mat, you're still getting everything you need. Let yourself be wherever you are. Left leg lowers, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead. Hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Exhale, release. And now we're going to move to the front of our mat. Stamp your feet together, hands onto your hips. Take a long step back with your left leg. Back heel stays up, back leg straight and strong. Arms up overhead for a crescent lunge. Now press your inner thighs together in toward each other. You'll notice you can sink a little lower while keeping your back leg straight and strong. Hands come together overhead. Bring your hands in toward heart center. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow outside of your right thigh. You can also drop your back knee down here. Completely up to you as you exhale. Press your right hand onto your left, twist and look up. Purging the toxins once again, resetting the spine. And as you exhale, release your back knee down, your hands to the mat. And now work your right foot outside of your right hand to the edge of your mat. So your right foot stays parallel to the side of your mat. And your back leg, your top of the back foot, can just come onto the mat. And I know you're feeling that stretch already right now. And especially for us that practice all the time, it's important to warm into these poses. I know we want to go deep into it right away, but let's warm into it. It's early in the morning. Letting the hips open here. Now when you're ready, you can start to bend at your elbows if you want a little more. You can also bring your right forearm down. If you can make the mat with your right forearm, you can bring the left forearm down. And it's important here to check in with that story that you're telling yourself. Are you focusing on the challenge, or are you focusing on the change? Can you just focus on your breath? Deep inhales, deep focused exhales. Send your breath into the area that you're looking to stretch. Leave the story out, and you'll notice just how much more you can find. Just another few breaths. And slowly walk your way back up to your hands. Let your right toes angle out to the right just a bit. Your right hand comes up to your right knee. Let your hips drop forward. And now as you exhale, press your right knee away from you, lifting the inside of the right foot off of the mat. And you can twist and look over your right shoulder. I know you're feeling this in the front of the left hip flexor. You're also feeling this on the outside of the right, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Remember, these are some of the biggest muscle groups in our body. So it's important we stretch and let go of what no longer serves us. Now slowly start to bring your right hand back to the mat. Work your right foot back in between your hands. And now we're going to move into full splits or half splits. So if you have a full split in your practice, go ahead into that. For half splits, plant your front heel into the mat, your toes back towards your knee, front leg straight, back knee underneath your hip. Your toes can be tucked on the back or top of the foot down. It's completely up to you. And just work at keeping your spine nice and straight. You can be up on your fingertips. And now also pull your right hip back into its socket, like you're trying to pull your right toes back to your right knee. Left hip comes forward. Notice that stretch and crease. Can you be with that change? Can you let that growth happen without stepping in the way? By just focusing on your breath and asking yourself, am I inhaling or exhaling? You stay out of your own way. Allow that stretch to take place. Just another few breaths, deep inhales, deep exhales. Now coming out of this side carefully, plant your front foot into the mat, tuck your back toes. As you inhale, bring your left foot forward to your right, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. The reverse swan dive, arms come up overhead, hands come to touch. Inhale, heart center. Exhale, release. Now we're going to step to the front of our mat once more. I don't want you walking in circles. Let's do that other side. Hands onto your hips. Take a long step back with your right foot. Long, straight leg on the back leg. Heels spiked up. Arms come up overhead. Press your inner thighs in together and sink into your front thigh. Hands come together overhead. Bring your hands in toward heart center. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow outside of the left thigh. As you exhale, press your left hand onto your right. Twist and look over your left shoulder. Remember, you can drop your back knee down here if you need. And release your hands to the mat. Back knee comes down. And now work your left foot outside of your left hand to the edge of your mat, parallel to the side of your mat. Hands to the mat, and we're going to stay here for just a moment. Remember, it's important to warm into these poses. We're not storming the beach. We're stretching the hips. And now when you're ready, You can start to bend at the elbows. Maybe you want to take it further. Maybe you want the left forearm to come down. And you can bring the right forearm down. And again, check in with that story. If we focus on the suck, we get more of that. We focus on the beauty that comes from these stretches, the work that we're doing for ourselves, how we're making ourselves important. We get more of that. Sometimes letting go is the hardest pose in yoga. Just a few more deep inhales and deep exhales. And slowly work your way back up to your hands. Let your left toes angle out to the left just a bit. Left hand comes up to your knee. Let your hips slip forward. And now press your left knee away from you, lifting the inside of your foot off of the mat. And you can twist open and look over your left shoulder. Just continue to let your right hip fall forward. Press your left knee away from you. I know each side may feel different, and that's normal. We have a dominant and passive side of our body. So this is the tighter side for me, so I just focus on my breath. Now slowly start to bring yourself back. Work your left foot in between your hands. And now half splits or full splits on this side. Full splitters go ahead. For half splits, plant your front heel, toes back towards your knee, straight leg, back knee underneath your hips. And now keep your spine nice and straight, fingertips or hands to the mat, depending on where you are. And now pull your left hip into its socket. Bring your left toes in towards your knee. Right hip comes forward. Can you sit with that change? Can you let yourself find something that you've been looking for? Can you let go? Too often we hold on to those stories that we're telling ourselves. And it prevents our growth. Just focus on your breath and let yourself be. Now coming out of this side just a little differently. Plant your front foot into the mat. Bring your left hand inside. And now let your right or left leg come back. Can't right and left. And find your way onto your butt. So we have survived the standing series. Congratulations, guys. You did good. We're going to start off now in a wide leg forward fold. So take your legs wide. And notice if you go a little too wide, your hips kind of roll back. You can bring your legs in. It's not so much about how wide they are as it is your hips being rolled forward, sitting bones down, knees towards the mat, and toes back towards your knees. You're already feeling that stretch on the inner thigh. So it really doesn't matter how wide you go as long as you're not letting your hips roll back. So sit up nice and tall. Shoulder blades come together. Create that long, straight spine. Inhale, arms up overhead. And as you exhale, your hands can come forward, or for those that would like myself, hands onto your ankles, your shin, or you can reach for the insides of your feet. Press your knees down toward the floor. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, shoulder blades come together. Remember not to round. As you exhale, you can find a little more real estate. It's more important to keep a straight back here than it is to pull yourself forward and round at the back and hurt your spine. So sit up nice and tall. With each inhale, find some space. With each exhale, maybe you find a little more real estate. Maybe you stay right where you are as long as you're feeling that stretch on the inside of the thigh. Just another few breaths here. And now we're going to surrender to the pose. Let your hands fall in front of you. Let your chin just fall to your chest. And let your back slightly round. Notice you're still getting the stretch. Your body gets everything that it needs when you are doing the work for you. Slowly walk your hands back in. Keep your left leg where it is. Now bring your right foot in towards your left thigh. So right foot just above the knee into the right thigh. You can also bring the foot to the shin if that's a little much. Just avoid your knee. Left hand on the outside of your left knee. Sit up nice and tall. You can also spin your shoulders square to your left foot. Right hand is the action hand. Take an inhale. As you exhale, walk your right hand on the outside of your left leg to your shin, your ankle, or to the outside of your left foot. Continue to press your knee down. You'll feel that stretch from the calf all the way through the back of the hamstring. You're also getting that beautiful stretch through the shoulder, the ribs, the solar plexus, all the way down in toward the psoas. Remember to find your breath and focus on the breath. Let the breath move you in, and let the breath calm the story that likes to pop up. And slowly start to come back up. Now we're going to take the right leg back out to the right. And now this time we're going to take left foot to the inside of the right thigh. So again, avoid the knee. Right hand comes to the outside of your right knee. Sit up nice and tall. Spin your shoulders square to your right foot. Left hand's the action hand. Take an inhale. As you exhale, scoot down along the outside to your shin, to your ankle, or to the outside of your right foot. Press your knee down so you feel that stretch through the back of the leg. And with each inhale, find a little space. With each exhale, find a little more stretch. Let's give yourself another moment here to breathe into the pose. As we cross the body like this as well, we're also working cross meridian in the brain, using the two sides, the creative side and the logical side. Now slowly bring yourself back up. All right, and now you're going to bring your sitting bones to your mat. Your feet come to your mat. I want you to take your hands behind your hamstrings now. You had no idea that you were going to come to yoga and build a boat, but you're about to build a boat. So elbows nice and wide so you can keep a long, straight spine. Now start to increase that angle between your chest and your knees. You notice that your core starts to engage. Once that happens, you can lift your shins parallel to the mat for your half boat. Keep your elbows nice and wide. Maybe you increase that angle a little more. Maybe you straighten your legs. Maybe you let your arms move forward. Wherever you are, just notice that shake. That's fear leaving the body. Just like the cheetah after it hunts, it shakes all that excess energy free. We don't need that fear anymore. It can go. Right ankle comes over your left. Heels move in. Plant your hands. Inhale, lift up to reset. Exhale, lower back down. And come right back to your boat, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe this time you straighten your legs. Maybe this time you take your arms out in front. Wherever you are, just let that shake take place. Realize that that's you making you important, shaking all of that loose that you don't need anymore. Left ankle over your right, heel comes in, lift up, lower back down. And one more time. Come right back to our boat. You decide what kind of boat that is. Maybe you got an inner tube. Maybe you got a speedboat. Maybe you got a sailboat. Whatever it is, let yourself be right there. Shake that fear free. It serves us no longer. We don't need it anymore. Right ankle over your left. Heels come in. Plant your hands. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower back down. All right, so pull your heels in so you can roll forward or just move your legs over to the side. And make your way back onto all fours. Now we're going to stretch the mid body, some of my favorite stretches. We're going to start with camel. So your knees about hip distance apart, ankles or shoulders over hips, hips over knees. I can't body part in a word today, don't mind me. Tops of your feet Allows you to move forward a little further. That's more advanced. If you want to keep your toes tucked like myself, it makes this pose a little more accessible. Hands come to your lower back like you're placing them into your back pockets. Elbows come in together. Notice your heart space shine forward. And now you can start to gaze up. Feel the stretch into the front of the neck as well. Hips forward, elbows together. And when you feel comfortable, you can let your head fall back. If you want to move even further, reach for your heels. Press your hips forward. Chest lifts. Carefully come out, one arm at a time. And now let your hips sit down to your heels, tops of the feet into the mat. Bring your knees together. Sit up nice and tall. Just let your hands rest on your thighs. Face down here roots you into the moment. Or face up allows you to receive just a little more. You can soften at your eyes or close your eyes. Or maybe let your chin fall to your chest. Again, sending that signal to your brain, all is well. I am safe. I am right where I should be. This pose is one of my favorites. It's called Hero's Pose. And for me, it reminds me that you can't always be a hero, but you can always be a champion for yourself. Just by showing up for you and making you important. And start to lift your gaze, blink your eyes open. Now we're moving into one of my favorites called Rabbit. For those that want to skip Rabbit, you can just sit in a child's pose, knees together, forehead to the mat, arms back. This is also called Rock Pose. If you'd like to go for this Rabbit, keep your knees together, feet and heels together. Reach for your heels. Grab your heels, thumbs out, fingertips in. Sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, roll your chin into your chest. Forehead comes down to meet your knees. Bring your heels together, super important. Step your knees up to your forehead if you need to make that connection. Heels together. Pull against your heels as you bring your hips forward. Only slight pressure into the top of your head. Pull against your heels. Heels stay together. Hips come over your knees. And slowly, very slowly, head comes up last. Oh, that stretch is magical. I love that one. So let's make sure we take care of the spine now. Plant your hands, step back to your plank. This is how you get to your natural downward dog position. Just press back to down dog without moving your hands or feet. You can bend at your knees, press your chest in toward your thighs. You can also walk your dog out left and right. Settle your feet down toward the mat, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring your right knee into your right wrist. You can scoot your back leg back a little bit. Top of your back foot onto the mat. You notice your heel is just in front of your hips. For those that want to take this a little further, you can work your shin parallel to the front of your mat. So move your heel away from your hips for more of a stretch. If you want, you can keep them right there where they are. And again, we're going to warm into this pose. Keep your hips nice and square. I know you're feeling that stretch into the right hip flexor as it is. If you want a little more, hinge yourself forward and down. Forehead comes to the back of your hand. And again, you can just tune in and check in with yourself. Focus on your breath. Deep inhale. And with each exhale, feel that you find a little more letting go, a little more space. You'll slowly start to work your way back up to your hands. Tuck your back toes. And press yourself back to your downward dog. And again, walk your dog. You can also sway your hips, really get the hips involved here. So you feel that stretch from the heel all the way up to the glutes. Settle your heels down, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to your left wrist. You scoot your back knee back. Back of your top foot onto the mat. Keep your heel just in front of your hips, or if you'd like to get that extra stretch, work your shin parallel to the front of your mat. Keep your hips nice and square. Starting off right where we are to warm into this pose. When you're ready, hinge yourself forward and down. Just focus on your breath. And let everything else go. And slowly start to work your way back up to your hands. And we're going to come out of this side a little differently. So sit over to your left, swing your right leg around. And now that we're here, we're going to make our way all the way onto our backs. That's right, you made it to the favorite part of yoga. And I'm going to turn this way. All right, so we found our way onto our backs. Bring your right leg in toward your chest. Interlock your fingers over your shin. And now we're going to change that angle. So pull your right knee outside of your right rib cage. Keep your left shoulder onto the mat. Left heel stays active. And you'll feel the pressure in between the right side of your chest and abdomen and your right thigh. That's what we're looking for. We're taking care of the ascending colon here, taking care of the internal organs where 75% of our immune system lives. You can also work this a little further by bringing your right elbow over your right knee, like you're pulling your knee in toward your right armpit. Keep your left leg straight, left heel active, left shoulder down. Now keep your knee where it is. Reach your right hand to the inside of your right foot and bring your ankle directly over your knee. Bottom of your foot faces the sky. Form that nice 90-degree angle between your knee and your ankle. And as you exhale, you can pull your right knee in toward the mat. Keep your left hip down. You can also take your left hand onto your left hip to keep your left hip down. And with each breath, you can use your arm strength here to find a little more stretch. And now release. Bring both knees into your chest. Reach over your shins. Grab for your elbows. Work your lower back down to the mat. You'll feel the stretch in the front of your hips already. And as you exhale, pull your knees in toward your chest. Taking care of the transverse and sigmoid colon. Moving full circle. You can also rock left and right for a little spinal massage. And now release your right leg, keep your left, interlock your fingers over your left shin. And now as you inhale, pull your left knee in towards your armpit. Keep your right heel active. Keep your right shoulder down. You'll feel the pressure in between the left side of your abdomen and your left thigh. Just allow yourself to be there for the moment while we take care of the descending colon on this side. You can also bring your left elbow over. Keep your right hand on the shin. Now keep your knee where it is. Left hand moves inside of the left foot. Bring your ankle up over your knee. Bottom of your foot faces the sky. As you exhale, pull your knee outside of your chest. Right hand can stay on your right leg, so you can keep your right hip down. As you exhale, pull. And now release. Bring both knees into your chest. Once again, grab over your shins. Pull your lower back to the mat. Pull your knees in towards your chest. And maybe you give yourself that rock. And now one more time, release. Left leg goes out. Keep your right knee. Left hand outside of the right knee. Let your right arm move out to the right. Now look to your right fingertips. Keep your right shoulder onto the mat. This is the important part to keep onto the mat. Let your knee fall over to the left. And check in with the position of your knee as well. The lower your knee is, you'll feel it into the IT band, into the outside of the